just know that when it comes to physical attraction, there is a fine line between people looking at you and going, and,
dear God, what is that thing?
and we're going to go over that today. Sorry if it's a little dark. I'm looking at my I'm seeing my screen, and it looks a little dark because it is a little dark. It's cloudy today, which honestly I don't mind. I actually love the cloudy days. Not a huge fan of the sun. I mean, I know it gives us life and makes living possible on this planet Earth, but I enjoy the occasional cloudy day. Don't have to worry about getting sunburned. Don't have to worry about the sun blinding me while I drive. I don't really, I really don't need the sunglasses right now. It's actually dark enough that I probably don't need these, but since I always wear them, I guess I always have to wear them now. I'm like the drummer in That Thing You Do, when Tom Hanks gives him the sunglasses and tells him, "This is your thing now. You are the sunglasses guy. You never take the sunglasses off." I guess that's me now. It's my brand.
My brand!
I was debating how I wanted to start this video out, or which point I wanted to start with, because the whole idea, the reason for this video being, and you already know from the title, is symmetry, balance. You have noticed some imbalances in your muscles, and you want to fix that. Now, why is having imbalances in your muscles such a problem? And this is where I was wondering how to start this out. Do I start out with what I actually really want to talk about, or do I start with what's going to be actually the most helpful to you? And we're going to talk about what I want to talk about. I have a whole rant around this. I love this rant because I think about it every time the whole concept of beauty, the whole idea of physical beauty comes up, and you've got the the more leftist libtards, let's call them. You got those people saying that beauty is just a social construct and there's no real beauty, and everybody is beautiful in their own way, which may be true. If in your own way you mean like they have nice attributes, and they might be very nice people despite being in terrible, grotesque bodies that you can't stand to look at. Haven't you ever wondered when you're watching? Okay. If you're watching something like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you see how terribly hideous Quasimodo is, and then you watch Man of Steel, and you see Henry Cavill, and despite being a straight man, I see Henry Cavill and I have to look away before I start to have too many impure thoughts. What's the difference between these two people, Quasimodo and Henry Cavill? Are we going to try and argue that they're actually just as attractive as the other one, and it's just society and social constructs, our environment, that has taught us that Quasimodo is not as attractive as Henry Cavill? Are you going to try and make that argument? It's a brave argument. It's a brave hill to die on because it's so silly, and I enjoy listening to people try and make that argument. Now, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Sloth from the Goonies, hey you guys, Rocky Road. No, it is not. Society didn't tell you that these people are really unattractive. Their bodies tell you that. You see what their bodies look like. It goes into your brain, and your brain says to you, you don't want to reproduce with that. Because that's what it's all about. Reproduction. The reason you see somebody and you want to reproduce with them is because more likely than not, they are symmetrical. They have symmetrical facial features. They have a symmetrical body. All things are balanced, as they should be, just like Thanos said. And I know Thanos was the bad guy, but he really hit the nail on the head with that one. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Now, it didn't occur to him that instead of snapping his fingers and wiping out half of the people in the universe, he could have snapped his fingers and doubled the amount of resources to... That's neither here nor there. Thanos didn't think that one through. Maybe he was just crazy. The thing about symmetry is that that's what we're attracted to when we see other people. If you see someone who is terribly imbalanced, you see someone who, like a Quasimodo type with the hump and one arm is like twice the size of the other arm. You say to yourself, I don't want to make a baby with that. That's bad breeding stock. That is bad. That is bad evolutionary. That's evolution. That is your evolution. That's your monkey brain. I love monkey brain. Monkey brain, it's so informative. That's monkey brain telling you not to make a baby with that because you're not going to be able to make a very strong and healthy baby with that. If you're a man, I am not going to put a baby in that. If you're a woman, I am not going to let that put a baby in me. So no, physical beauty, it's not just a social construct, it's biologically ingrained. And the more symmetrical you are, the more balanced you are, the more attractive you will be. All of this is to say that this idea behind physical attraction and being physically attractive, it's not shallow. That's really the point I want to make, is that if you're looking at exercise and working out, and you say, oh, well, I'm not one of those shallow people who just wants to look better. Well, I hope you kind of are. I hope you kind of care about how you look, because that's important, and it informs how much exercise you should be doing. If you're not doing any exercise at all, you're probably experiencing some problems. You're probably experiencing some tightness, some chronic aches and pains in your lower back or in your shoulders. You're probably the type of person who sits at a desk all day. You've probably got some physical issues if you're not exercising. So there is a strong correlation between, and you probably look that way too. I can probably look at you and say, this person has not made a habit of exercise, of regular exercise. I can tell they're overweight or they have no muscle tone. You're probably skinny fat. You ever heard the term skinny fat? Which where you look kind of okay with a shirt on, but the minute you take the shirt off, you go, oh, yeah, you got a little bit of a belly and there's no muscle. Skinny fat. I use that word around my sister-in-law, and she's like, she's going into therapy. And she told me that it sounds like I'm body shaming when I say skinny fat. If I say skinny fat and you feel shame, that's your problem. I'm just making an observation. I mean, I guess I could explain it to you. Like, yeah, you're kind of fat and you don't have any muscle, but you also have a small frame. You're skinny fat. I'm just making an observation. And I mean, if you don't ask, I won't say anything at all. But if we're going to have this discussion, that's a real thing. And if you feel shame over that, that's not my fault. That's you. That's you feeling shame about that. I tried to explain that to Becky, but yeah, she's not. I don't think I swayed her. So, if you want to reproduce and pass on your seed, being symmetrical is going to help with that. Oh, and it also decreases your likelihood of getting injured. It increases your athleticism. It helps with your aches and pains in your body. If you've got one muscle on the side of your body, here's what I mean by symmetrical and having balanced muscles. All of your muscles on both sides of your body are the same size. They can stretch the same length. They are doing roughly the same work as the other side. And you can tell when they're not symmetrical, when they're not balanced, because that's when you get the aches and the pains. Oftentimes people get aches and pains in their necks. They've got one side that's a little bit stronger than the other side. There's a lot of things that can contribute to that. That can come from just all of the little micro actions that you do throughout the day. The way you step up out of your car, the hand that you choose to brush your teeth with or write with. When you're stepping up onto a platform, which leg do you step with first? All of these little things that you do throughout the day, every day, without even thinking about it, all of these things contribute to your muscular development in your body. And if you're not paying attention, you probably have some severe muscle imbalances. One side is probably a little bit stronger. Not even in the same places. It's not like your entire right side is stronger than your entire left side. It's more like you've got a muscle in your back that's a little bit bigger and stretched further than the muscle in the other side of your back. But in your legs, your right leg is a little bit stronger than your left leg, or your right calf is shaped differently than your left calf, something like that. Those are just some general examples of what a muscle imbalance could look like. And it usually feels like chronic aches and pains, and you won't even notice it. Well, other than the aches and pains, you wouldn't even realize where those aches and pains are coming from until you go to the gym, you take a good long look at yourself in the mirror and you go, why are my shoulders doing that? You notice one side's a little bit, your shoulders do that. I see that a lot. Or you're chronically hunched over. So, muscle imbalances are something that you should care about. You should absolutely care about it, not just so that you can lift the same on each side, but so that you can be symmetrical, more aesthetically pleasing, again, the whole physical attraction thing, move better, that increases your athleticism. When I say athleticism, don't be one of those people that says, well, I'm not an athlete, so that's okay. No. Are you alive? Do you move around? Do you get up out of bed every morning and walk around every day and do various tasks? Okay, you're an athlete. You're doing stuff. And you want to be able to move optimally and safely and reduce your chances of injury. So, all of those are really good reasons to be symmetrical. Now, how you get symmetrical, it's actually pretty easy. First of all, you need to go to the gym. You need to pick heavy things up and put them down. But you're going to do it one side at a time. These are called unilateral exercises. So, a bilateral exercise means that both sides of your body are pushing on one object. So think like anything with a barbell stuff. That's all unilateral. Or bilateral, sorry. Anything with a barbell, because you've got both hands on one bar, pushing on that one bar. If you're doing all bilateral exercises, pushing on that one object, the stronger side is very likely to take over for the weaker side. If you've got one side that can't keep up with the other, you might not even notice, because the stronger side is carrying most of the burden. Push-ups would count. Push-ups would be a bilateral exercise since you're pushing up from the ground and the ground is an unmoving object. We want to do more unilateral stuff. Unilateral would be, anything with dumbbells. If you're doing rather than doing a bench press with a barbell, you do a dumbbell bench press with with both arms. And in fact, if you want to make it even more unilateral, and this is what I would suggest if you've got some real imbalances that you want to work out, I'm actually, we'll just jump into the next section, because I want to give you a whole full body workout that you can do for your body. And this is gonna be real quick, because it's really not that difficult. Full body, we're hitting the whole body. We're gonna start with the chest. Unilateral alternating dumbbell chest presses. A regular dumbbell chest press is, it's just a chest press. You're just pushing both dumbbells up at the same time. But with an alternating dumbbell chest press, you're doing them one at a time. So I do my right side, then I do my left side, my right side, my left side. You're gonna find that one side's a little bit stronger than the other. That's okay. But remember this one key, this one key point. Don't do more on the stronger side. In fact, do the opposite. Do more on the weaker side. See if you try and get the weaker side to catch up with the stronger side. If you can do, let's say you're dumbbell pressing 40 pounds and you can do 12 on your right side, but you can only do 8 on your left side. Okay, well, you're only doing 8 on your right side too. You're not gonna let the right side keep getting stronger and stronger while the left side lags. You're gonna let the left side catch up to the right side. And that's how you're gonna treat all of these exercises. So there's your chest workout. And then for your back workout, we're gonna do a back workout now. Let's do single arm lat pull downs. Single arm. So you're gonna do 10 on one side and then switch and do 10 on the other. That's gonna be your back exercise. And then let's do a leg exercise. Let's do a good alternating leg exercise. Ooh, lunges. Another word for a lunge is a split squat, because that's really all you're doing. It's just a squat, but splitted. And again, you're gonna figure out real quick which side is the stronger side if you're working out like that. You can even do that with a barbell. I know I said no barbell stuff. In fact, I'll stick with that just to keep things simple. Do walking lunges while holding dumbbells. Do 10 each side, and that's gonna be your unilateral leg exercise. And then let's throw in some arms. Bicep curls. Alternating bicep curls. That'll hit your biceps. And then alternating overhead tricep presses. That'll hit both your triceps. Remember, I'm gonna emphasize this again. The weaker side dictates what the stronger side is gonna do. And you could even throw in an extra set for the weaker side to help it catch up to the stronger side. I wanna emphasize big compound lifts. So the arm stuff that I just mentioned at the end, the bicep curls and the tricep extensions, you can do those if you want to get a little more arm workouts in. Don't start with them. I wouldn't start with them. Start with the big compound exercises. That should be the emphasis. That's where that's where the majority of your energy should go, the big compound lifts. And then you could finish with some single leg calf raises. Single leg calf raises. And here's another key point. Don't just do this once or twice or even for, a couple weeks. Do this for many weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. Or even 2 to 3 months. Do this long enough that those imbalances, that gap between the stronger and the weaker side, you start to see it close. And you'll notice that some of those aches and pains might go away. You might find that your neck is feeling better. Your back is feeling better. All of that is, assuming that you're also doing a little bit of mobility work. That's a whole different discussion. For now, let's just stick with the basic lifts. Anyways, by the time you're done doing all these unilateral workouts and your body is all good and symmetrical, you won't be able to keep the opposite sex off of you. They are going to be begging you to produce seed with them. They're gonna look at you and they're gonna sound just like Bill Murray eating the corn. That's how good looking you're gonna be if you can be symmetrical. Oh, one more note on the symmetry stuff. It's not just the right and left side of your body. You can have really weak legs but then have a really strong upper body, or the opposite. Think the guys who skip leg day. They've got these little scrawny legs but big upper body. That also looks weird. And again, our evolution informs us. Our evolution should inform us. When you look at someone like that and you say, that's really weird. Why do I think that's weird? Because that's not how a person is supposed to look. A human would never look like that naturally in nature. But in this weird atmosphere where we can morph and shape our environments to our perfect liking, whether or not that liking is, going to be the most beneficial to us, you can be a kind of guy who completely skips leg days and just does upper body. And so up here, it's the Hulk, and down here, you look like a paraplegic. No good. No good. Symmetry applies. Symmetry is not just right and left, it's the whole body. You want your legs to look like they're attached. You want your upper body and your lower body to look like they're supposed to be attached. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Let's get to history buffs.
History buffs.
I got a good one for you today. It's a guy named, we're talking about William Henry Harrison, the 9th president of the United States. I had to point out that he was the 9th president of the United States because I know you've never heard of this guy. Unless you're a real avid history buff like myself, you have not heard of William Henry Harrison, which is kind of sad considering he did quite a bit. I mean, he did almost nothing while he was in office, and you'll find out why later. But he did a lot of firsts. He broke a lot of records. So the first, William Henry Henderson. This is William Henry Harrison. This was back in the 1840s. The 1840s. And William Henry Harrison. I'm just gonna call him Bill from this point forward. Bill Harrison. He ran for office and he won. He won. He beat Martin Van Buren for the presidency. Now, a lot of people told Bill Harrison that, you know, you might be too old. Which, yeah, that was the first record that he broke. He was, at that point, the oldest president to have ever been elected. He was 68 years old. And he wouldn't be beat for over 100 years by Ronald Reagan, who was 69 when he was elected. So that was the first thing he did. He was, at that point, the oldest president to have ever been in office. Now, Bill Harrison, he was a prideful man. He didn't like being told that he might be too old. A good rule of thumb, if people tell you you're too old, most of the time, like 95% of the time, they're probably right. If they say you're too old to drive or too old to do anything, pick anything. If someone says you're too old for it, no, you're too old to date that girl. They're probably right. People are almost never wrong. Well, that's what they told Bill Harrison. And he said, bah, I'm not too old. I can do this. I can be president. I am president. I've been elected. So they said he was too old. And to make a point of showing them how not old he was and how ready he was to be the president, he decided he was, holy cow. That pedestrian looked like they were about to jaywalk and cause me to plaster them. Anyways, I'm glad I didn't. That would make this a much darker video. Anyways, Bill Harrison, just to show everybody how not old he was, he decided to give his inaugural address on a cold and rainy day. Very cold, very rainy, but he's young, he's vital, he can do it. No problem. Also, and this is the second record that he broke, he gave the longest inaugural speech ever given. 8,445 words. Now, for those of you who are not so mathematically gifted, that's a lot of words. And it comes out to about a near 2-hour speech. So, near 2-hour inaugural address. In the cold and the rain. Now there's one other record that Bill Harrison broke. He served the shortest of any president in office. Because he died in about a month from pneumonia. He got sick from giving his near 2-hour long inaugural address on a cold and rainy day at 68 years old, and he was only in office for about 31 days before he died. Also, he did one more thing. This was after he had died. He caused a constitutional crisis because his vice president was John Tyler, and everybody was kind of looking around at each other like, oh crap, what happened? This has never happened before. That was the other first that he did. He's got a lot of firsts. This guy has a lot of firsts. He was the first president to die in office. So everyone's looking at each other going, ooh. Okay, so the vice president's the president now? I mean, it's only been a month. Do we have another election? What do we do? John Tyler said, well, yeah, of course I'm the president. And he demanded that people start calling him president because he was the president. And people kept sending him letters addressed to the vice president, and he refused to open them because he wanted to be recognized as the president, which he was. He was the president. So that was the first time that had ever happened. And now it's not a question anymore. If the president dies in office, vice president takes over. It's happened a few other times throughout American history, but that was the first time. So we can thank William Henry Harrison for the smooth transition of power anytime a president dies in office. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Go away! Thank you for listening. Hey, tell me, have you ever heard someone say something like, oh, fitness isn't everything? Don't listen to that communist gobbledygook. Take pride in your body, take pride in your fitness, and let me help you along the way. Follow me at American_Fitnocrat on Instagram, and if you'd like some personalized coaching, DM me.